In her retelling of the story, I had become a junior high school dropout with belly. Not to mention that everyone who called on the phone for the next week had to hear about Jackie, man, and the note. So the last time we left off, Jackie was on the run again. Devin had backed her up on her way to the cleaners, running an errand, and him put talk to her. Him tell her, say, yo, Jackie, stop playing with the thing. You understand what I say? So she run home because it was 3:15 and she had to go. So let's keep going. Dinner was already cooking, and my parents were sitting together watching the 5 o'clock news. I never really got to the point of the news. It's always depressing, so I usually avoid it. Instead, I spent my time in my room doing my artwork or writing poetry. Gone, Jackie. Since school was out, there were no sports events to attend, which meant I was stuck at home with no social life. Remember, she just graduated, right? High school. I was getting anxious to talk to someone, anyone, about my crush on Trevor. She's still a crush, Trevor, Jackie, you don't learn. And how his cousin Devon believes that I would ever be his wife. Delusional. Or is he? However, my excitement quickly turned into loneliness as I remembered that Tanya, my only friend, had gone overseas for the summer right after graduation. I really missed having long conversations with her about everything, anything, and nothing at all. Since I had nowhere else to put my feelings, I decided to write them down. I wrote a note for Trevor and another one for Devin, just to get my true feelings out there. I wrote the letters and rewrote them a dozen times in my head before letting the pen touch the paper. Y'all remember them note writing days? Come on. Dear Juby. Rita, remember. Dear Abby. Dear Trevor. No, no, no. How about greetings, Trevor Boo? No, okay. Hey, Trevor. I hope this letter finds you in good health. Jackie. Wait, I sound like a school nurse. That's not going to work. As I tapped my pen against the blank paper, tiny marks began to form, and I stared at them, waiting for the inspiration to strike. I rewrote the sentence repeatedly, at least 10 times. She nervous, see? Until finally the perfect words came to me. Aha! Hey, she never put in name. I wanted to take the time to say, I really have a crush on you. Let me know if you like me too. Write back to me and let me know. Yours truly, Jackie. Hey was the perfect opening, short, sweet, and to the point, just like my note. I wanted to finally get beyond feeling so awkward around him, but at the same time, not say too much and end up embarrassing myself. Now it was time for Mr. Mint Breath. I could not believe his nerve. First, Devin embarrassed me in front of Trevor by calling me out, and then he suddenly got all brave and forward, even pinning me against a gate to declare his love and stake his claim on me. Ugh! I closed my eyes and tried to shake off the disgusting image. Make sure I go on, Sophie Devil. Hey, it was best to keep it was best to keep things simple with Devin as well. What's a nice way to say go fly a kite? Hey, I wanted to say that although you're a nice guy and all, I don't get that vibe from you. Maybe there's another girl out there for you. I hope you find her. Sincerely, Jackie. Dang, Jackie. So you gave, oh, I got a crush on you, but look how you came for poor Devin, who've been checking you since the 5th grade, 6th grade. Come on, Jackie. Anyway, satisfied with my notes, I reached for 2 envelopes in front of me, one addressed to Devin and the other to Trevor. Just as I was about to stuff the letters in, I heard my mother call, dinner time. Mama! I fumbled with the papers as a thin layer of sweat covered my body. The last thing I wanted was for my mother to come in and find me writing letters to man. You're right, man, Jackie. And this I do. As she called any male, no matter how old or young they were. This moment reminds me of Dean. She always I remember somebody. Isn't that how life works? He is the reason that I almost had a coronary when I heard my mother approaching. Dean was a boy who had a schoolboy crush on me in junior high. He wrote me a note asking if I liked him with two check boxes, one for yes and one for no. Remember them note. They come on, people don't do them something because they have computer now. Our cell phone. Talk about simple. But I was so embarrassed I didn't know what to do. So I stuffed his letter into the pocket of my school uniform. Well, was that ever a mistake? By the end of the school day, Dean's letter was forgotten until that fateful day, laundry day. It was raining, I remember, because my socks were soaked and muddy from the puddles. I stepped in one on my way home. My mother was standing in the kitchen near the door with her arms folded, tapping her toe and frowning. Good afternoon, Mama. How are you? I asked, not sure what to make of her standing there glaring at me. Dang, Mama. Woo. Good afternoon, no, she hissed. I knew something was up, and then, because somehow her greeting sounded like fighting words, I stayed quiet, trying to gauge what the issue was. The silence was deafening, but I declared not to speak first. So, at this me send you to school for? She asked. I knew that the way I answered this question could potentially detonate whatever threatened to explode behind my mother's gaze. It was particularly difficult to respond when she was this fired up. So I humbly repeated, school? Yes, school. Did I send you to school to look mad? She raged. Yo, drop a comment in the comment section below if this sounds familiar. Is it just me, y'all? Is it just me? This is a little bit of my life experience here. Now I was at a loss for words. I had no idea that what she was talking about. I think the blank stare on my face enraged her more. I don't know why though. Maybe she thought I was trying to be slick or something. It had already been a couple of days and I genuinely forgot all about the note that troublemaking Dean had given me. Mama was growing impatient, and it became clear to her that she was getting nowhere with me. Finally, she shook out the wrinkled paper and that she had mangled in her grasp and slammed it on the table. My eyes burned as I squinted to identify it like, oh my God, where should get that paper there from? The note had new creases, but I recognized the handwriting. It was the note from Dean. Mama wasn't alone. I wanted to beat myself for making such a care. Let me go bring that inside of her. She said she wanted to beat herself for making such a careless mistake. It's what it is. Mama demanded. I wanted to pounce on that paper and tear it into a million pieces, but it was too late. The nasty, mangy cat was already out the bag. A note? Oh, a note, I replied. Some boy in my class gave me that. There was nothing left to do but be honest. However, my confession seemed to dig an even deeper hole. Some boy in your class? Bruh, stop. It's children. Talk to her. Talk to her. Your father and I work hard. Kind of hard day long, hard to make sure you get a good education. And instead of study your book, you are look man. Bruh, she's what, 12? I don't think she's looking man, but okay. Mama emphasized her words and through wild gesticulations and projectile spitting when she was really upset. It wasn't intentional, but all her children were aware that when Mama got mad, for whatever the reason, just be prepared to be showered. I was banished to my room without being able to tell the full story at this point. I dared not protest. What was a 13-year-old to do? I remember how she scandaled me over that note. When Dada came home, she embellished what happened, adding extras to make it appear worse than it was. In her retelling of the story, I had become a junior high school dropout with belly. Not to mention that everyone who called on the phone for the next week had to hear about Jackie, man, and the note. So that was Jackie's flashback as to what had happened. So now we can imagine why she's terrified that she hear her mother coming towards her. Jackie, dinner, I'm calling you. I could hear her footsteps approaching my bedroom, which was never allowed to be fully closed unless I was changing. This was another one of those infamous house rules. Hurry, Jackie, hurry! I grabbed the letters and stuffed each one quickly into the envelope I had prepared, then scanned my room urgently for a place to stash them. Without much time left, I settled for them between the pages of the dictionary lying on my bed. Look now, ma, Jackie, look now, ma. Her shadow reflected on the wall as she pushed the door wide open. I turned over several pages on the thick dictionary and read the first word that caught my eye aloud. Ah, yes, homeostasis, I said, feigning intrigue. Interesting word. Jackie, do you hear me calling you? What are you doing in here? Mama asked and answered her own question. Oh, you are reading. Good. Well, take a break and come to dinner. The entire time she stood in the doorway, I had held my breath and didn't exhale until I heard her footsteps fade down the hallway. Okay, Mama, I'm just going to wash up. I'll be right there. Dinner that night was sweet. My favorite was served: lamb chop, garlic mashed potato, and sauteed spinach. Dada and Mama were at the table discussing the latest news, as usual. I heard them saying that the adoption was almost complete and they would soon have to go and sign the final paperwork. I sat quietly at the table. My thoughts were miles away, obsessing over the letters I had written and trying to figure out how or when I could get them to Devin and Trevor. Growing up in a Caribbean household is not for the faint. It's not for the weak. The trauma, oh, the trauma, oh. Let me know if this is familiar. You are look, man. Dude is like 12. Sit them down. Talk to them. You're instilling so much fear. And then when they do it, they grow up, they get their career, they're 30, you scratching your head as a parent. Like, how come you don't have a steady relationship? How come you've never gotten married? Because you told them that you had to be either or, that you had to either have a relationship or get a career, and that relationships weren't that important, and that you didn't necessarily, not all, but many, you didn't necessarily show them the value of cultivating a healthy relationship. And so when you pass the stage of you are look man, and the expectation is you should have go look man or get a good wife, it's difficult. It's difficult. Why? Because you didn't learn the steps along the way. You weren't mentored oftentimes along the way. And I'm speaking for those, I know a lot of people who came from this situation and having these same similar conversations. That excessiveness at such a important time in our lives, 7 to 14, is when our emotional centers develop, right? Our emotional centers develop. 0 to 7, our foundation of who we are develops, our attachments, our relationships building in that way, 7 to 14. So when you get injured in this space, when you're shamed in this space, when you're not taught in this space, when you feel inadequate in this space, it's difficult for you to authentically connect with other people, especially in a long-term relationship. So I know they thought they were trying to save you from belly or saving you from having children early, but there were, in many cases, more damage than good was done in this area. But again, let me know your thoughts in the description below. Why I keep saying description? I mean the comment box. And again, Island Twist is available on Amazon. I'm going to put the link and pin it so that you can easily click upon it and let me know your thoughts. And if you have read the book, please let me know what you got from these chapters so far. What sticks out to you? I see a lot of people telling me like, Amuna, this is real. Amuna, I've had this experience, especially the part about, and I'm going to have another conversation about taboos in the Caribbean, the part about not telling the child about puberty, right? We're going to talk about that. But again, I wrote this. This is for the culture, okay? The good, the bad, and indifference. So once again, thank you for tuning in. My name is Amuna, and I'll see you again. Island Twist follows Jackie Brown, a young girl who finds herself head over heels for the new island boy at school in fresh outer yard, and Jackie has the fever. But as she navigates the ups and downs of her new crush, things quickly spiral out of control when her not so secret admirer becomes determined to sabotage her relationship. So check out the new novel Island Twist over on Amazon today. Now back to the story.